What's going on, everyone? Badger here. And a very interesting thing is currently happening with the box offices in theaters, and that is they are nowhere near they were in, let's say, the heyday of the comic book big event movies. Uh, will we still see movies that hit $1 billion? Clearly, because Lilo and Stitch is sitting right there, Deadpool and Wolverine. But of course, when we talk about those, we have to talk about, the extra stuff that's attached to that, specifically like Deadpool and Wolverine, because there was 20 years of nostalgia and, want of Hugh Jackman to put on that suit. But by and large, and especially with the alienation of China, the $1 billion comic book movies are basically done. And we're looking at the 5 to 700 million is going to be the new norm. And they're starting to realize it. And so we've got this list from comicbookmovie.com of 5 ways that Marvel and DC can adapt to this. And the first suggestion is something that we've all said, and that is it's time to make these movies for less. 200 conservatively, because they say 200 or 225 million, but especially with Superman and those Ohio tax documents, we know that at some point that budget was $363 million, and that is just absolutely ridiculous. Does it all take a lot of CGI? Yes. Does it take a lot of big event type shooting? Yes. But they used to be able to do that on a budget. They used to have people that knew how to do more with less. And as some of those veterans have been pushed out and some of the newer, all those DEI hires, we lost a lot of talent. And then especially in the CGI realm, where we heard all the effects companies basically just say they are burnt out. They can't do it anymore. The companies change their minds multiple times. They don't get final passes and able to go and bug fix, for lack of a better term. And that's why we get CGI that looks worse than stuff 10 years ago. Now, some things have come around, and it all just depends on them leaving the companies alone. This is the CGI companies with clear vision and let those effects house do their jobs. But if they're going to keep putting out movies that have $200-300 million budgets that you need to make 800 million just to break even, no, that is a losing strategy, and they can't do it anymore, as we've been seeing. The fourth one: events sell, everything else not so much. Look, yes, that's true, but the reason those events sell is because individually you cared about the characters. When they were all put together in a big event, it sold. You can't make every movie an event movie, because then that, if every movie is event movie, then no movies are event movies, and people are going to get burnt out of that. I can promise you, Spider-Man Brand New Day is probably going to make more money than Doomsday, just because it's finally getting some quality of what we wanted, and just, another ambiguous event film, incursions. So yeah, you can see here, in the past few years have taught us anything. It's the audiences now expect superhero movies to be events. Deadpool, and again, you can't really classify that. The Marvels, Captain America, Brave New World, and Thunderbolts were streaming follow-ups in regards of that. Never felt like game changers. That's not because, did not help that they were from streaming shows and all of that. But Thunderbolts, Captain America, Brave New World is because Chris Evans wasn't Captain America. No one wants Falcon as Captain America. We want Captain America. Thunderbolts, again, I found it charming by the end. Most people don't know those characters. And the Marvels, even Kevin Feige said that people might have known Captain Marvel, but when he got to Miss Marvel and Monica Rambeau, no one knew who that was. But again, this is once upon a time, Marvel took studios on things like Ant-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy. That's because they were made with quality. That's because they were made with quality, something we can't really say for the last, well, maybe the last two, but for the last, 4 and 5 phases, you definitely cannot say that, where it was quantity over quality. 3, no more streaming. This has been the biggest thing. Gunn over there with HBO Max seems to probably going to be making the same mistake, but having a bunch of shit on streaming that ends up being tantamount to homework, where people end up just entirely ignoring, watching a couple and then tuning out, or worse, watching all of it and going, I didn't like that. And then you devalue your actual movie brand. And that is exactly what Kevin Feige just admitted, that all of the stuff that they rushed out because of COVID-19 at the time, and everyone was stuck in their houses, and the streaming boom. So we put a lot of stuff out. That has alienated more people than they have brought in recently, because people say and go, oh, I didn't watch that show, so I'm not going to go watch the movie it's based on because I won't understand it. And in some ways, they'd be right. 2, better marketing, fewer leaks. I mean, this works for both, but Superman, I saw that entire movie before it actually came out. The marketing was horrible, from his first suit release, where he's just sitting there casually putting on his shoes, to the multiple just full scenes that then in the movie theater, those scenes were just cut together. There wasn't even any bridging scenes. So literally the first hour was just all the cuts we had seen. Marvel's no better. In fact, by right now, I'd say all the Spider-Man leaks are the only thing anyone is talking about. But yeah, we've had some full plot leaks come out, Fantastic Four, all those things. The full plot leaks were out. We read it, and it ended up being exactly that when you actually get to the movie theater. So that is extremely damaging. Marketing, less is more. Less is more. I actually thought Fantastic Four had a really good marketing, sort of fun, retro, the timeline, all the little things that they did, at least towards the end, which is not what you can say for most marketing bids. And then one, less is more. And they even notice notate here, a site called comicbookmovie.com should probably not be calling for fewer superhero movies and TV shows every year, but it would benefit this genre greatly in the long run. Yeah. I can't tell you how exciting it used to be to see these heroes, and the mere chance that you would see a comic accurate costume. But unfortunately, after just shatting out movie and television show after declining quality, and then I'm going to list this, by the way, as better marketing, but the biggest thing that is killing all of these movies is your goddamn actors and the lead up and press tours and them talking about politics and social issues and talking about everything but the project that they're working on. Their weird anti. I'm talking to you, Pedro, and the licking of the rainbow things. Yeah. The worst part about the marketing for all of these movies is this the gayest movie ever? That Mark Malkin from Variety. The lead up is the worst thing, and that needs to change drastically. And then less is more. Now, the less is more, all of them have basically announced they're doing less TV shows and less movies, but we'll see if we believe it. Because at the end of the day, with the exception of Dinosaurs Go Burr, I mean, Fantastic Four, not even at 400 million. Superman just past 561. That's still a little over 100 million less than Super. Like this still, unfortunately, they've barely broken. They haven't even broken even, because 200 million plus 100 million, and that's assuming we believe those. And so 300 million, right? Keep going. And then you take that half away, because well, whatever, take half this away to pay for the audiences and the studios, rather, and the movie theaters. You still have not made your money back. So this Jurassic World Rebirth, with essentially the same budget and marketing, it is now just barely going into profitability. And of course, as pointed out, it hasn't even hit Japan yet. So there you go. Those are the things they're talking about. Less is more. Enhance your quality. Your marketing needs to go up. The talking of your actors needs to go down. And you can focus on individual things. Not everything has to be an event movie, but you have to put the quality and the character in there. You can't just have the names try to sell it, especially when those names were built from streaming that no one watched. So yeah, let me know what you think about all this. By all means, make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you. We're closing in on 9,500 on the road to 10,000. Would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, well, that's when I hit this button.
Well, bye.